my target client, really, it's any woman that understands custom-made designs, and they understand it's not walking into a retail store and you're pulling something off the rack. I got, those Home Depot orange buckets? I turned that bucket over. I sat on it in the middle of the floor. I tried to cry. I could not cry, not a tear. I've been through so much. And I tried to cry. I tried to cry. And I just started laughing. Age did not stop us from fulfilling our dreams or our wants. I think that age is a number, and that's when I said, that aha moment again. I'm going to incorporate wedding gowns.
This is James Rousseau, a.k.a. Trig, and let me welcome you to the Courtling Solutions Show. What's happening, people? This is a surprise episode of the Courtling Solutions Show right here on Holy Coach Radio Series XM. This is James Rousseau, a.k.a. Trig, of course. If you like fashion, and I know so many of you are fashionistas, if you like fashion, you're about the quote-unquote the fit, I've got somebody I want to introduce you to. Deborah Mack is a visionary fashion entrepreneur who turned her lifelong passion into a thriving business. From the Connecticut courts to the couture scene, she's redefined success on her own terms through Damn Fashions, a luxury outerwear line that blends timeless style with sustainable innovation. Deborah, welcome to the show.
Thank you, James. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to talk for a number of reasons. One, I love that you've decided to make the leap, and we'll talk about that. I love I don't know what you call it, the second career, third career in your life. Making that shift is always interesting, so we'll talk about that.
I would say it's my third career.
Your third career.
It's my third,
See?
yeah.
See? So I love that. So let's start here. What's one thing you can share that those closest to you don't know about Deborah?
Wow.
Like even your best friends would listen to the show and say, I've known her for decades. I'm not sure I knew that.
That I think that I had a deep passion for fashion. I don't think anybody knew how extreme I really am about it. And how I really dug my heels into it and really decided to build a business around it.
So before you made the change, did you kind of conceal it?
I did. Only one that knew about it really was my husband.
Really? Okay.
He's the only one that knew that, hey, this is what I wanted to do. And I think it really came out one day. We were in New York City, and I was at this stage of my life. I'm like, what am I want to do? What? And so we went on this, the hop on, hop off bus in New York. And so I don't know, the tour guy was talking about Tommy Hilfiger doing this big building, making it into a hotel. Hence, it never turned into a hotel. But anyway, so we were sitting on the ledge, and I just jumped up and I said to my husband, I want to be a fashion designer.
Interesting. And
he just looked at me. He's like, really? I said, that's what I want to do. And I think it was something that's really been deep down inside, because when I was like in the 8th grade, I took what they call home economic class. And that was a sewing class. Going back.
Home ec.
Do
they even have home ec anymore? I don't think they have home ec anymore.
I don't think they call it that, but
Yeah.
But back in the day, that's what we did.
Right.
That's what we called. And you had a choice. You want to cook, you want to sew. And I chose sewing. And I always loved it.
Right.
And it kind of just stuck with me. Although initially it was going to be part of my pathway to college to do that in Connecticut. But then, I don't know, I just took a different turn and decided to go to Westchester in Danbury, Western Connecticut University, and pursue justice and law administration. So I just kind of turned things around. I don't know why. I just decided not to do it.
So let's talk about that, because you find something you like, you feel passionate about it, and I think a lot of us can attest to those memories. What made you not chase that as opposed to go to the law degree? Yeah, right.
Honestly, I think that it's really stemmed around when you have people like your counselors or someone trying to direct you what you should do with your life and you get ready to graduate.
Right.
And honestly, if you look back, a lot of the black students then, even sometime now, they don't have that guidance of anyone trying to say, what's your passion? What do you want to do? Okay, I'm going to help you fulfill it. And I didn't really have that. So it was just something that I was like, I like to do this, but I really didn't know how to pursue it. So when I decided to go to WestCon, it was like, well, Mom, I'm trying to follow my best friend. She's there. I'm going to go there and be a student there as well.
And it seemed practical, probably, right? It seemed like they're breadcrumbs. There's something I can follow right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what kind of turned the table for me.
Mm.
I just didn't really know. And if someone was there to really guide me about it, I would have done it back then.
Got it.
Absolutely.
So your passion for fashion began in high school?
In high school. Well, middle school, really.
Middle school.
8th grade, to be exact.
But you leave high school and you go into this area and you work in the court system, right? Judicial court system. 20 years.
Yep, for the state of Connecticut.
So during that 20 years, what was it like to kind of still have this in your heart, or was it not present to you?
No, it was always present to me because when I worked for the state of Connecticut, a few things was going on. I always liked to dress, so I had to be presentable because I was in court all the time.
Right.
And outside of that, I did like community fashion shows. I did sewing. I sold costumes for my children, and I just always liked to find those different designs that everybody wouldn't want, and I would make it my own. So it was always with me. I made my maternity clothes, but once I finally decided, okay, you know what? When I really want to become a entrepreneur fashion designer, I said, all right, I did the little pattern making, cut and sew. That was cool back then, but now it was a bigger challenge. I said, I want to learn, how does it work in the fashion industry?
Gotcha.
And that's what kind of, when I moved to Pennsylvania and I became an entrepreneur doing something else, that followed.
Gotcha.
That was my goal. How does this work?
How does it work?
How does it really work?
And around when was that?
I would say 2014, because I decided to go back to school, being 50 plus something.
Go back to school for fashion.
I went back to school. I started in the graduate program at Drexel University in the Westfall Fashion School. I did 2 semesters there, and I just didn't think it was a fit for me. So then I checked out a weekend class at the, Moore College of Arts in Philly. And I ended up doing 2 semesters there. And one of the semesters was a history class I had to take.
Right.
And it was either take the history class or go to Rome. And I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I don't feel like studying. I'm going to Rome. I said, I still got to spend the money.
Right.
So I went to Rome, and I was really, really inspired when I was in Rome. And but then at the same time, I had a rude awakening. And I looked at the students I was with, and I'm thinking to myself, these kids are my kids' age. And I said, I already did this, and I don't want to leave with a big, big note.
Right. So
once I came back, I stopped, and I had in my mind the dollar amount that I was going to spend with these, going to school, and I was going to stop.
Right.
So what I decided to do is, okay, so I did the 4 semesters between the 2 universities. Then I decided to go to New York City on the weekends to Parsons. They had a continuated program. I would drive down there early in the morning, get there, take the classes. Then I went to Harlem.
Were you doing this? Were you still in the court system at the time, or you?
I'm sorry, no, I
left?
had left. Yeah, we moved here in 2004. Yeah,
And
I'm sorry. I didn't
no, that's okay.
that.
So you were courageous enough to take the leap full time and go into learning mode to do it, not even knowing necessarily when you'd get into, let's call it, income revenue generating mode.
Yeah. Well, we came here in 2004 because my husband had a job opportunity.
Okay.
And because he's in the pharmaceutical industry. And so he's like, hey, he caught me at the right time. Because I was feeling it at, working for the state with those, doing the mediation work. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to leave. So that's when we got the kids. We all relocated here, which I love.
So there was a good window where you need to leave anyway.
He caught me at the right time.
Got it.
And so, so when I came here, I just told him right off the bat, I said, I'm not going back into the court system. And I could have easily. He's really supportive. He just looked at me and says, okay, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And, at that time, I felt freedom.
Yeah.
I just knew it was something different. It was not going back into the judicial system. I felt freedom. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to become an entrepreneur. So initially, James, I started with a pickup and delivery franchise business. And I felt that was a niche that was missing, where you would go pick up the dry cleaning, bring it back. So I started that from scratch.
Gotcha.
And it really grew.
Oh, not a part of somebody's franchise model, your own just.
Well, no, that was how I started. It was a franchise model. Part of a franchise model. It was at the time. And it grew so fast. And what I would have to do is I would have to outsource the clothes to get them clean. And so I decided, you know what? I need to control this a little bit more because it's growing really fast. 'Cause I started in my basement. I went to a little small space. This small space became to a bigger space.
Wow.
And then I decided from there is that around the corner from me was a vacant building. And I said, you know what, it's small enough to do a drop store. People can just walk up, drop the clothes off, and leave, which is really nice. So I did that, and then it got bigger. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm managing people here, and I needed a driver. I needed somebody to work the counter. Then I said, I need to control the quality of the clothes.
Right.
So then from there, decided to open up the organic dry cleaning business. And I told my husband, I said, I like to open my own plant. I can do the quality. I can handle the quality on it that comes out. I said, but it has to be organic.
Interesting.
So then from there, we built the actual plant. And in the front was another store. So I had 2 drop stores, pick up delivery routes, and it was just going crazy.
Wow.
And I would get up like, honestly, 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to get the machines going by 6:30 before the people came in. And I wasn't leaving till 7 or maybe 8 o'clock at night because all the bags would come in. And I just like I had no life. You know, my husband say, hey, I got to go to Florida. I got a business trip. You want to come? No, I can't. You know, so after a while, I was like, okay, I did it for about 8 years. I was like, it's enough.
Wow.
So then I sold it and got out. And then one day I saw myself sitting on the sofa. This is the truth. I was twiddling my fingers. And I'm not one just to sit still. And I was just like, I can't do this. I got to do something. And I think that's when we took the trip to New York. And it was like an aha moment that I wanted to get into fashion.
Got it.
And then I enrolled in Drexel. And then from there on, like I was telling you, I was going back and forth on the weekends to Parsons, Harlem, Manhattanville School for tailoring. And then I was just like, this is costing me too much. And then I decided, you know, I looked at my age. I have 4 kids. One was out of college. Some were going in, and it was just a lot.
Right.
And I said, I can't afford a big tuition. There's no way. So I decided to build my own curriculum and figure this thing out. And it entailed me going online, signing for different courses, podcasts, all kinds of little things. I just started building it. And also I did the sewing in the beginning.
Gotcha.
And I made a lot of different designs that I like. And I did my first photo shoot in 2016.
Gotcha.
And, but then I was like, there's no way I can just be sewing all these clothes. So here I am going to New York, knocking on doors, literally knocking on doors saying, hey, I have the design. Can you make it?
Got it.
What does it cost?
Got it.
And I would just go around the loop around the building and say, wait a minute, didn't I start here? How to end up here? Because I didn't know where I was going.
In the fashion district.
In the fashion district. I was just going around in circles. But anyway, I figured it out. And then I worked with a few manufacturers that made my sketches come to life, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And I did my first show, New York Fashion Week. And that was 2017.
Okay, hold right there for 1 second before we talk about the first show, because there's so many progressive steps in this that I just want to unpack a little bit, right? So if you think back to like when you talked about leaving high school and you couldn't see the path to this, right? And so you went down a path you thought you could see. That the window of moving to Philadelphia area with your husband and giving you space, was that the difference maker in terms of taking a leap?
I think it was.
Was that the difference maker?
Yeah. If anyone asked me, hey, could you do this if you were still in Connecticut? Absolutely not.
Really? Okay.
I think that when you have to grow and God puts something on your heart, it's not necessarily where you are. Sometimes He has to pick you up and move you so you can hear Him and do what's on your heart.
It's almost like a new place for a new season.
Exactly. That's
good.
exactly what it was.
And thank God for good spouses, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony. Thank God for, no, seriously, because my wife did the same thing in terms of supporting me, right? Just in a different way in terms of the word you use, I think you said you felt free.
Free.
Right? And that resonates with me deeply in terms of when I was ready to leave the corporate world and take a leap, so to speak. So then you go into a franchise model, which again has breadcrumbs. It's got a template. So as long as you work the template, supposedly, right, in franchising, so long as you work the template well, you theoretically can do well, right?
Exactly.
What was your, outside of the loss of, sounds like work-life balance, it sounds like your work-life balance tanked a little bit. Outside of that, what were some of your biggest learnings coming out of running that cleaning business?
Wow. Listen, when I went with the support of my husband, when I decided to build that big dry cleaning organic plant, there was so much was happening during that journey.
Yeah.
So let me just back up for a minute. So
Sure.
like I mentioned, I started in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
And then from my basement, it grew. So I had a small space like this where I would do all the tagging of the clothes. And then I told my husband, I said, we need to, or I should say, I need to, because he's like, no, that's you.
That's you.
I need to build an organic plant. So
Right.
I need to get money. So I went for a loan.
Oh.
And what occurred was, people need to understand that when you're on a journey, it's always not so smooth.
Right.
There's some serious hiccups and hills and bumps and lumps.
Mhm.
But, it just so happened that my then the landlord that I was dealing with had a big warehouse, and he was a contractor, and he was going to do the build out for me for the business, and gave him $40,000 to do it.
Right.
Unknowns to me, he had a problem gambling, and nothing was
Oh,
done,
wow.
and lost my money.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So when you're working with the bank, there's a time.
Absolutely.
thing. So what end up happening, you go from bad to good because God's always getting you through it, but you don't know it when you're stuck in the mud.
Right.
So long story short, we decided to just get out of there and put my stuff in storage, regroup.
Mm-hmm.
And so my husband, we were having breakfast one day at this one location. He looked across the street. He's like, what about that building over there? It was a standalone building. And I was just like, I felt a little defeated. I'm not going to say I didn't.
Yeah.
But then he's like, no, let's go look. So we ran across the street, looked at it. I'm like, yeah, that might work, So, we scraped up all the pennies and the nickels we could
Yeah.
to get the building, get everything back up and running, get everything in there. And I tell you, we finally got it, but things was happening. The pipes were leaking or this was leaking. And one day it was just piling up on me. So I came in, and like I said, I was coming really early in the morning, and the place was flooded.
Oh.
Listen, I got, those Home Depot orange buckets?
Oh, yeah.
I got one. I tell people this. I turned that bucket over. I sat on it in the middle of the floor. I tried to cry. I could not cry, not a tear.
Are you serious?
I tell you the truth, because I've been through so much. And I tried to cry.
I tried to cry.
I tried to cry. And I just started laughing.
You
I
wanted
said,
to feel sorry for yourself. You
I
couldn't
did.
even get it out.
I couldn't get it out. I just laughed and said, Lord, well, you know what? If this is part of the plan, then so be it.
Right.
What am I going to do?
Right.
So I just said, pull myself up on my bootstraps and keep it moving. So I went across the street. So I went next to the Steiner. This is the truth. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, I got a flood. I called my husband. He said, I'm coming down. And I asked the guy, you got anything I can get the mop? I had nothing.
Right.
So the guy said, hey, I got this thing that it sucks up the water. Okay, cool. And he put that thing over there, and we turned that on. I tell you the truth. I was just like, Lord, Jesus, take the wheel. Them little bugs came crawling out of
Right.
there. Them little bugs, I'm like,
yeah.
stepping out. I'm like, no, what is this message? But anyway, it turned out, I laugh at it now because it's funny.
Right.
Because, I think people need to understand when you see entrepreneurs going through, you think, oh, they made it, it's good, but you don't know what they went through to
That's
get
right.
there.
That's
you
right.
know,
That's
and
right.
for me, it was a learning experience. I said, hey, I can deal with this. I can deal with anything.
Right.
And not only that, it taught me to trust God above all things, James. And nothing can really rattle my case, because that was the rattle.
Right.
And that was the worst of all. But everything else is like, you know what? I'm here.
Right.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing it to an audience that I hope to hear my voice.
Yeah. That's good. So the resilience coming out of like doing that kind of business. So did you sell your franchise?
I sold it. It was a franchise and it was a non-franchise, and I put them together.
And sold them.
The only franchise was the pickup and delivery route.
Got it.
And everything else I built around it. And then when I realized, hey, okay, I don't want to do it anymore, I sold it. So imagine a black woman, organic dry cleaning plant business, pickup and delivery, 2 drop stores and a huge plant. It's not heard of.
Right.
And then it was very successful.
And building that over, what was that, about 6 years?
About 8 years.
About
I did
8
it.
years?
Yeah. So I had like 2 drivers. I had all the staff in one store, all the staff in the back working doing the dry cleaning, people in the front. So it was a big step for me.
Yeah. Now, so you sell it and you start pursuing the learning to do fashion design.
Yeah.
So were you still holding on to it while you started the learning, or did you sell it and clean cut
I pretty much sold it, and I had to stay on for like a couple of months just to train
Right.
the new
The
owner,
new owners, right.
and but I'm very passionate about whatever I do,
Mm-hmm.
and it really tugged at my heart. So I would stop in sometime, and I'll be like, and my husband said, "You got to stop going in there. You don't own it anymore."
Right.
So
Right.
I'm like, you know what? You're right. So then I had to cut it off because they did start to get a little dependent on me.
Yeah.
But then shortly after he was in 6 months, he sold it because
Yeah.
he was still trying to do his job as an IT and still work that dry cleaning business, but that wasn't realistic. I said,
Yeah.
you can't do both.
Right.
You have to decide which one you want to do.
Right.
And he couldn't handle it, and then he ended up selling it.
Gotcha. How did you decide? Because you mentioned you went to Drexel, you went to Moore, Parsons, you did these different things, and then but you ended and said, I created my own curriculum.
I did.
What led you to that, and then why do you think you were equipped to do that?
Okay, the thing that led me to do it, because in my mindset, when I decided to go back to school, I had a dollar amount that I would spend. I said, once I got up to this amount, tuition-wise, I'm going to have to figure something out because
Gotcha.
my kids were in college.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I said, I don't want to create a bill at my age, then maybe I was 55 then,
Mm-hmm.
and have to worry about trying to pay that note off and still worry about their tuition.
Yeah.
And so, so then I was just like, well, Deb, you're going to have to, I just Googled things that I can do that was within reach. Like going to New York City was not a problem.
Right.
Going to Harlem wasn't a problem. And going online definitely wasn't a problem. So I would just kind of join in different networks and different businesses and just kind of learn what was being said.
Got it.
And then say, okay, now let me learn how to make something from a square box. Now let me go from there. And so I started doing that, fooling around with it at home in the basement, starting to sew and thinking, okay, once I get enough pieces, I'm going to do a little photo shoot. And so I had called my daughter. I said, hey, you want to be a model for your mom? And so, and then I found a local photographer and she got me another model. So I worked it with the two girls and we had a good time. It was good. And then it got real after that.
Yeah. So what was your vision when you started building Damn Fashions? And when you launched it and you're on the high of, man, I'm finally going to operate my passion. Right. What was your vision for it?
Honestly, my vision was to be, and I was a little naive about it, was to be an e-commerce where I can actually get things made and sold. People can buy from me on the internet, you know, and that was my dream. Then I thought, okay, this is how it works, and it was just me by myself.
Right.
I was by myself trying to figure this whole thing out. And I started working with consultants. Started paying people for a little marketing, doing different things, but it just wasn't working the way I thought. And I found myself with some inventory. I found myself with extra fabric, and I'm just like, this is not how it works,
right?
And it was costing me a lot of money, but I just kept pushing it and trying it, and my website was like really nice. My web designer won out of 10,000 contestants the best website, which was mine. She did.
Wow.
And so there was a lot of good things and a lot of struggles on unanswered questions in there. And it was like I was really like in a dark cave trying to find my way around, just feeling away. Okay, was a little light, here it is. This is nope, no. And you think that when you encounter different business relationship via networking,
right,
you think that is the answer. But then after all, I'm like, man, I'm back at square one. This is not working for me. So what I did was I started to get involved with other, I could say like agency or programs or things like that to try to tap in to learn what piece am I missing. And I'll tell you, the different people that I spoke with and I hired as consultants, they don't know.
Really?
They don't know. They really don't know.
Was it they didn't know your business, or just more broadly in terms of like the entrepreneurship space?
I think, well, it's a twofold question. It's good. I think what it was that I don't think they understood me as a designer.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't think what ended up happening was they would see my designs and they're really well crafted, really well made. And they would say, one person said to me, "You look bigger. You look bigger than you really are." It was almost like a misconception, like she is this big grand brand.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just starting out here. But my ideas were big and grand. And so I was like a mad scientist. Like when I did New York Fashion Week, let's just say, I would start designing and it would just go into I don't know, I would just be out there just designing, James. It would just get so big.
But what was that supposed to mean? You look bigger than you. Does that mean you're dreaming too big? Or
that's a good question. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I think my designs were like, the way my designs were made, it looks like it would be in a high-end department store, let's just say. Okay, because that's how well done it was.
So does that mean it was too, what's what I'm looking for? Too luxurious for your target audience?
It was like, okay, you're here at our program. Okay? But you don't look like you should be in our program.
Got it.
So it's like,
got it.
And then I think that being said, I think it took them in like a whirlwind, like, what do we do with her?
Right.
We really, because I got nothing out of it. It's the only reason I can say this.
I got it.
And what do we do with this person? I always heard this. I heard it all the time. Like, oh, maybe we need to create a special curriculum for you. Maybe we need to do this for
Almost
you.
like your ideas were too advanced.
Yeah.
For that.
It was just.
You were in the 101 class and you got 301 ideas.
I think so. I think that's a good way of putting it. But for me, I felt like, what's wrong with me? My designs are great. Why is anybody helping me? I'm spending all this money, spending all this time, going here, and I didn't get any help.
Got it.
And so 2017, I got invited to do New York Fashion Week.
Got it. How'd that materialize? How'd you get invited?
They don't know. They reached out to me. I don't even know how. My husband even asked me, he said, how did that happen? I said, I don't know. You know what? I'm always on the internet, and I'll read one statement. If there's a little word in there, I'll say, oh, click on it, and I'll find it takes me down other things. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But I know we communicated. I said, yeah, I would love to be in the show. So I did New York Fashion Week, and I was supposed to do, I said, well, what's the number of pieces? They said, oh, you have to pay for it. By the time I realized, I did 40 looks. I had a 40 look showcase runway, bottles coming down, wearing it. It was really one of the highlight, I would think, of me starting out.
Right.
And I got such a good response.
How hard is it typically to land that kind of opportunity?
You know what? Like I said, I did it blindly.
Right.
But at this point where I am right now, people are asking me to be a part of the show.
Got it.
Like I just the folks in London had reached out to me and said, hey, Deborah, we'd like you to showcase in London. But I haven't responded yet because she asked me last year and I told her, wait till September.
Right.
And September's approaching. But the problem is that I just opened up a boutique in the borough, Westchester borough. And I got to put all of my focus and finances towards getting that up and running. Right. So again, I hate to tell her I can't, because what comes with it is I have to do a collection. I have to do my collection, maybe 10 looks, she said. Okay. Still got to fly down there. Still got to eat, hotel. Right. And it's not an inexpensive trade when you have to create design.
It's a huge investment bet. Right.
Pardon me?
It's a huge investment bet.
Yes, it is.
Because on the other side of it could be a lot of recognition, a lot of, I guess, potential clients and such, right?
Yes.
But there's no guarantee at all.
There's no guarantee whatsoever.
Right. So when you do the one in 2017, what happens after that?
After 2017, you get over all the excitement, and I'm back again hustling, trying to do my e-commerce. Okay, I'm like, okay, I did New York Fashion Week. E-commerce is going to happen. And it didn't. So I'm still trying to push that ball up the hill, still pushing it up the hill. Yeah. And then I just did, then what happened after that, I did DC Fashion Week.
Gotcha.
And that was really nicely done. That was a really nice show. From there, which came out of it, which was really, I got a good review from it. The people loved the show, and I don't know how, but someone sent my name to London, to London Fashion. It's called London Fashion Crossover.
Okay.
And they reached out to me. And see, we hit the pandemic then.
Gotcha.
And we were just kind of getting out of it a little bit. And they wanted me to send them some clothes so they can put it in the showroom. And which I did.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, people were still skeptical about coming out. So they didn't get the flux of people coming in to shop like they normally would. So it went kind of stale on that end. But a good thing did happen. Through them, Harper Bazaar reached out, and they ended up doing a spread on me in the Harper Bazaar UK magazine.
Nice.
Yeah, which was really nice. I was in the Huff magazine, the article in there. Another magazine in London took some information and design as well. And then the actress, her name is Alison Peters, I think. Don't quote me, and I'm saying her name is wrong, but she was from the Netflix movie Sex Education.
Gotcha.
And she wore one of my designs in one of the photo shoots, which was pretty cool. Patricia Allison. That's her name.
Gotcha.
Allison, yeah. So she wore. So some good things came out of that. Yeah. It really did. But, when the pandemic hit, I was kind of like at my wit's end. I'm like, this thing is not working, trying to do e-commerce. Let people know what I'm doing. They love my clothes, but nothing's moving.
Right.
So I started to feel a little stressed. I did. And I think at that time someone reached out to me saying, hey, I have a wedding to go to. Can you design a dress for me? I'm like, sure, I would love to do it. And back then I didn't have no problem. I love going to New York City. So I was going to New York City. I said, okay, what are we looking at? What do you want? And she says, I want blue. I said, oh, blue. I said, okay. She want blue flowers. Okay. So I would go to the store. And she did not look like a person with blue flowers. So, and everything I would send her, no. I would do it, off my phone. Here's a video, here's a picture. No. And then I came across this one beautiful olive green fabric. And there's a reason why I'm going to tell you this story. And I said, this would be perfect. And I sent, and I shook, it was pure silk, beautiful. And I sent, she said, that's gorgeous. I said, it's going to look beautiful on you. And so made the dress, and it was beautiful. It really was. It was perfect. It was all silk, just silky soft. And the reason I say that is because sometimes, and this is what my expertise come in, people think they want blue, but they don't know blue does not really look good on you.
Right.
So I have a good eye for that, James, and say, this looks good on you.
Right.
This olive color.
Compliment you and so on and so forth. Yeah.
And the thing about my designs is that it's one of a kind.
Right.
You're going to stand out. You're going to feel comfortable. You're not going to be twitching and turning and shifting your dress.
Right.
And she got a lot of comments on that dress, how beautiful it was. And at that point was my turning point. There people always say you have that moment where you pivot what you do. That was my pivot moment when I decided, okay, I'm doing custom made. Because I don't have to worry about inventory. I don't have to worry about returns. I know what women really should have and feel comfortable and look good at the same time.
That's good. Plus, it feels like you being able to lean into your personal touch and connection with people feels like that was a part of that, right? Versus creating inventory and selling it in e-commerce. Like you could put a face to it, but it's not nearly the same as like engaging with someone personally and helping them and curating for them.
Exactly, because I'm a people person. I love speaking to any and everybody.
Right.
And that's just who I am. And I like to have that time where I can really, some people come in my boutique and they just want to find out a little bit of information.
Right.
They want to look around. And I treat them no different, whether you buy or you don't buy, because one day you may come in here and say, hey, I really want to get something custom made for myself. I want to treat myself.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Was it difficult during those, let's call it 3+ years of trying to get the e-commerce thing going, particularly after, again, you moved to Philly, you do the organic thing, so great, got it, 8 years in that, awesome, sold it, now I'm going into this passion thing, bless me, Lord, thank you, and then 36, 38, 40 months of no quote-unquote success. Was that difficult?
That was very difficult. It was almost like I think I was crying inside, and I would just say, what is wrong? Why can't this work for me? Why won't
But you didn't give up. But you didn't let go. You didn't shut it down.
I didn't. You know why? I think because I honestly, I would say to myself, who am I? If God put it on my heart since I was a little girl, and he did. I know he did. And it just took me years to get there, but it's okay.
Mm.
I'm there. Who am I to say, I don't want to do this anymore?
Mm.
I don't want to be chastised and say, I told you to do
That's
this.
interesting. Did you feel convicted that way?
There was conviction because I thought about it often.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to give up. And I'm like, who am I to say that?
Mm.
You know, if you look at all the people in the Bible, I'm sure they wanted to give up, but they didn't.
I'm just curious. Like, was there? Because I again, I resonate with what you're saying. Like, there are moments where I feel, particularly during fundraising seasons, right? When you're looking at the budget, you're like, man, it is not happening, and you feel like. And then I feel like God will give me a scripture, or like I go to my Bible study, something will pop out. And to your point, it's like, okay, got it, God. Did you have those kind of moments?
I did. I did, because, you know, when you're going through like that, and after a while, I was just like, here, just take it. I'm just giving up. I'm not giving up.
Right.
But God, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. You know? And then what I did was I started incorporating him in my business. So when I go into my business in the morning, I'd be like, hey, let's pray. I pray. And, you know, God, you know, thank you. Presence of the Holy Spirit, let it be your day.
Yes.
You know, and this gives me peace.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm not carrying this by myself.
That's right.
And I'm at the point now, like I said earlier, that I went through it when I opened up that dry cleaning plant and the place was flooded. Everything that was in me has gone. I've been beaten up with that thing. So now this is just a enjoyable ride for me.
Yeah, that's good. There's two words that come to mind when you say that. One is surrender.
Surrender.
Right? He is strongest when we're at our weakest, if we can surrender. And the second word is steward.
Yep, stewardship.
We don't own it, we're stewards.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's two things that come to mind when you say that. Yeah. So you do this big pivot, and so after you do this, this young lady's dress who wanted the blue but got the green. Because you told her to.
Olive.
What was your renewed vision like at that point?
Honestly, I used to it was a renewed vision. So in the back of my neck is how I will carry like stress. I can feel it sometimes on my back. But when I decided to switch over and do custom made, I don't have stress anymore. That thing I used to get on my neck was gone. I have not gotten it since, because, you know, you're pressured on what the world thinks, and I got to make it so everyone can see this, and I got to be successful, because these are things that you're always bred in your mind, you know. But then when I realized, I got to the point, like, you know, I don't even care anymore what the world thinks. You know, I want to do custom made, let them come as they are, 1, 2, whatever.
So let's go back to that for a second, because that's so important. At that point in time when you were doing the e-commerce and you thought you had to hit these things, are there examples like certain metrics or certain affirmative points you wanted to hit, to your point, to be successful? Were there things like in front of you of kind of pressure points?
Yeah, the pressure point was that I had hired a consultant, and he said, you got to order all this fabric. And I did. Okay, now you got to make all of these jumpsuits. And I did, and it's going to sell, and it didn't. Then I hired another consultant. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do the SEOs. We're going to do that so that we get the magic word out there. You'll sell. It didn't. You know, so, and then, you know, I went through that for a while. Then one day it just finally hit me. I said, you know what? You guys don't know no more than I know. I'm walking in the dark and you're behind me. So I was just like, I just realized nobody has the magic answer. Nobody in the industry. Either you're lucky enough someone to say, hey, I see you and I want to sponsor you or support you, whatever, you know, because I like your brand, then you're good. Or you just happen to fall in a pot of luck, then you're good. You know, and that's not fortunate for everybody.
That's right.
In particular myself.
Yeah.
And I don't think I hoped it. Oh gosh, I hope somebody got, I hope Macy's want to order from me. Oh, I hope Neiman Marcus calls me. Oh, I hope.
Right.
But you know what? Sometimes I just feel like everybody's journey's different.
Definitely.
And I know now that the plan that God has for my life is like, I depend solely on him 100%. Not on Macy's, not on Neiman Marcus, not on this one, not him.
Right.
Because through him, those that need what I have to offer, they come to me.
That's right. So now you're de-stressed. You're in the middle of the repivot. How do you launch out on this repivot?
Wow. Okay. So honestly, the way the launch happened for me, which is really good, when I first opened up the boutique, 6ABC came out from Philly, which is nice. And matter of fact, they came out, let me back up, they came out to my home during the pandemic because I was working out at a home, and they did an interview. So I held on to the information and said, hey, now I'm opening up a small
How'd that come
boutique.
about? These things keep coming about for you. Obviously, God moments, right? But any other connections? I mean, what's happening here that people keep reaching out to you to want to tell your story and show you and give you opportunities?
Well, that particular story, I can share it because it happened to me. The way 6ABC came about. I was in a particular program, and things weren't always working for me in my favor. I don't know why, but it didn't. But it came up that I could have did the 6ABC. But at that point in time, I felt that the program wasn't a fit for me.
Okay.
And I pulled out of it. Okay. And I guess some people weren't really happy about it. So then I was like, hey, when I found out about the 6ABC, I said, hey, I'll do it. I'll mention the program. I don't care. I don't hold anything. You know, I'd like to do it. And I was so, no, you're not going to do it. You're out. You're out. Okay, sweet. No problem at all. So I just, did my thing like I was doing at home. And then I received this email from 6ABC saying, hey, Deborah, we want to interview you. So it came back to me anyway.
Gotcha.
He said, we want to interview you about your fashion. I'm like, oh, wonderful. And I had an intern, Jillian Morgan, who was really, really good. And I said, hey, Jillian, you want to come in and be a part of this whole thing? And it was a really good segment. It was something about something aging. I don't remember. Art of aging.
Art
That's
of
what
aging.
It was. Yeah, in the Philadelphia 6ABC program. And so they did the article on me, the segment, I'm sorry. And it was really successful. It was really good. So I held on to the contact information. So that way, now, fast forward, I'm opening up the boutique.
Right.
And I reached out to the reporter then, and she gave me a different reporter that would be handling it. And they came out to Westchester Borough and did the whole interview again, which was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it comes back. I think like this: if you're supposed to have it, it's gonna and you miss, it's gonna come
Absolutely.
back to you.
What God has for you is for you.
It's for you.
So, how would you describe the brand and the aesthetic of what you do now?
So, what I like to do is I like to find fabric that has that look that will grab your attention. Okay, so it doesn't matter the outside texture. What matters is what I use on the inside, which is a luxury lining. And it is a sustainable lining, James. And so, for instance, the coats, I like to use it in my coats. So it keeps the body warm in the wintertime so you don't have to layer up.
Got it.
It's a sustainable line that has a breathability so that your body temperature is cooled down so you're not sweaty. So hence, if you're wearing it in like a pair of slacks or a dress and you're hot, like 105 today, whatever, it's going to cool your body down. And it's a luxury lining. So when you put it on, it's like, oh, okay.
You can feel it.
Yeah, I feel it.
You can feel the
That's
difference.
nice. It's really, really nice on the skin.
Who's your target client?
Honestly, my target client, really, it's any woman that understands custom-made designs, and they understand it's not walking into a retail store and you're pulling something off the rack. It's a woman that says, hey, I don't mind spending the extra dollars to get something that's going to make me feel good and look good. Yeah, I understand. I like quality. Right. So it may be someone that doesn't make the six-figure, but she has a taste for nice things. Right. And she says, I'll spend this kind of money to get this particular coat made that I know is going to be here forever. So you led with the woman who understands. So I think I shared the story when we talked before. I have a guy I work with, Haj. Oh, Haj. Shout out to Haj, right? And when I was at Allstate, I got to Allstate in 2010-ish. New president of a division, brand new division. And my wife and I had partially moved there from here to Chicago. We still kept our home out here. And you go into work a couple of days, like, man, I need to buff my stuff up a little bit, right? So I get introduced to Haj, and then I see the prices, and I'm not gonna lie, I said, oh no, we don't need custom. Oh no.
right? Back to Men's Warehouse, back to what's the other place? Boyd's, whatever, right? We
Yeah.
There's some places. And so he said, and my wife said, let's just give it a shot. So he came up with this package, and I think I got like 3 suits, and then he was showing me how to best pick material to mix and match the suits and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2010. I still have those suits, and they still seem new.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The quality of the fabrics. Well, first of all, to one of your points, the first time I put one on versus, because I go to rack and, I'm a larger size. I'm like a football size.
Mm-hmm.
So anywhere I go, first of all, they got to chop it up a lot.
Yeah.
I pull whatever it is. I will pull a 50 off, and I'm really more like a 48, but because of shoulders and this, that, and that, they spend so much time chopping it up, right? But then when he made it, and I remember when he made it, there was something he did. He said, no, I'm not going to do, I was so used to getting pleats.
Right.
For the leg room.
Right.
He said, oh, no, I'm not doing that. The straight.
Yep.
And he did it. I said, it's not going to work. The first time, Deborah, I put it on, I didn't want to take it off.
See?
I mean, the way it felt and the way it draped.
Yes.
And the quality.
Yes.
And I looked over at my wife. My wife goes, once again, my wife always has this expression when she says, if you just listen to me, right?
I like your wife.
And she's like, if you just listen to me, right?
Yes.
And so, and he taught me how to mix and match the materials and all those different things. So I would just say to anyone who questions it, it is an investment that pays off over time, because once again, you can feel like you'll pay X here now, but I'm telling you, if you pay Y, it's going to last you a lot longer. Mm-hmm. You'll feel better in it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, at least in my professional career, that I've learned is there are a number of different things that help you show up in a room.
Right.
Right. And nothing obviously replaces God, but it's not bad to feel good and confident in your clothing and everything else when you show up.
Absolutely.
Right? And so, when you talk about people understanding it, it took me a minute to understand it.
It's funny you say that. My daughter, she was visiting and talking about understanding.
Yeah.
She was going somewhere and she kept ordering these dresses online and sending them back. And I'm like, Shanae, I'm here.
Right.
I'm for you. You want me to make it for you?
Right.
If we could do something quick.
Right.
Oh no, Mom. And I was just like, okay. So I said, she's someone that doesn't get it yet.
Yeah.
My own daughter.
That's right.
But she could, all the time that you spend ordering, sending it back, this and that, you could have just had to.
You could have had it. You could have made.
Could have had it made,
yeah,
and you would feel comfortable.
And your time. The other thing I would say is the time you spend. You can't get your time back.
No.
So once you have someone you work with that knows that one has taken all the measurements and done it really well, and then kind of knows a sense of what you want, being able to call that person and say, hey, I remember the first time I needed a new tux, and was able to call and say, hey, man, I got this black tie thing coming up. Yep. I need a tux. He's like, let's just talk through like 2-3 questions. Got you. You'll have it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so
and you're comfortable in it.
Absolutely.
You're not shifting or anything like that.
Right. Trying to stuff and pull this, pull that, and so what's it been like and in this area, in the Philadelphia area, what's it been like establishing a clientele base? Well,
I'm in Westchester, like 40 minutes outside of Philly.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I get a lot of referrals come in. I get it's referrals, and a lot of times it's people just walking in, wanting information.
Got it.
And they take it with them, and they're like, okay, I'll be back. And then sometimes I'll forget about them, and they do come back. I'm like, oh, yeah, you wanted to do X, Y, and Z, and C. So now what I've done is, I definitely send the information out. And I also say, hey, listen, maybe you're not in the market for a coat or a wedding dress or something, but if you know anybody else, hey, please let them know.
Right.
And I kind of just work it like that for now. And like I said, I have my Instagram and I'm on LinkedIn, stuff like that.
That's good.
That's
good. What you've mentioned a few times, like even going from the cleanest to organic, and you made a point of sustainability in your products. What's made you focus on that space of luxury, if you will, kind of this organic and sustainability?
Yeah, well, with the organic, when I opened the dry cleaners, I made a point to tell my husband, I'll do this, but it has to be organic because that perchlorethylene, they banned it in California, and it really is hard on your clothes. And sometimes the smell is so poignant, you have to kind of like air it out. So that was one of the reasons I said when I decided to get into the dry cleaning business, that's what it'd be. And not only that, I was able to feel a lot of different fabrics, know a lot of different fabrics. What can you do to get the stain out of certain fabrics? So that really helped me along my journey.
Got it.
So that was a plus for me there. And I just kind of like, I just thought it was a good tie-in. Once you can work with some of the best, some of the worst fabrics,
right?
Then I know when I'm searching for something, if it's good fabric or if it's bad fabric.
Yeah.
I can just look at it and be like, I'm like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
It's like, and I got like a critical eye, I should say.
Yeah.
When it comes to certain things, certain clothes, certain fabrics.
Yeah.
And I look at like, they shouldn't have let her put that on. Why did they tell her that? Or if I see something like, I should say, when the First Lady Biden had her beautiful dress on, I was like, I saw a big flaw.
Gotcha.
You
can see
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I was just like, they didn't do that right.
Yeah. So so one of the things that comes to mind for me is it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you see, clothing and such as almost a tool for empowerment.
For women?
For women.
Yeah, I think so. And this is why it would be an empowerment for women. Because I can make anything from a size 2 to 22 for the woman. And if you take a plus size woman and she goes, and not even a plus size woman, she could be a 12.
Right.
If she goes and she shops and she tries to find a top and she can't button it.
Right.
Or the skirt don't fit right. And she settles and she buys it anyway. And she says, well, I'll just have to put a pin in it. To try. And I just don't think we should do that anymore.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to settle because this is what they're offering at the retail store. And not only that, you can go to some of the high-end stores. If it's not cut for your body, you're not going to be able to get into that dress. And I tell my husband sometime I would try on a top and I'm like, they didn't cut it right. Because I'll try it on and I'm like, this is not closing right. They didn't cut it right.
Right.
And I can just know. And then you know what? Your whole time is just messed up. You're just not feeling comfortable at your event, at work, or wherever, and you're shifting. You're trying to make it work. And but when you wear Deborah Mack, okay, it's custom made to take in every shape of your body.
Gotcha.
And you're going to work, you have confidence,
right? Because
you feel good.
Yeah.
Not only that, there's breathability of the lining. It's a silky feeling on your body. It fits.
Yeah.
You are not shifting anything, and you can go from work to cocktails in your outfit.
Right.
You can get a blazer and with your dress on, in that same blazer, you can wear it with your slacks. You don't have to have a lot of pieces, but it's good to have some pieces.
Right.
In there.
And kind of those staples, right? And in that way, to your point, you can mix and match if you've got the staples and whatnot.
Exactly.
I mean, with the clothing industry, the fashion industry, which I don't know a lot about at all, but when I think about some of the things you said, and I think about some of my personal experiences and my wife's experiences, would you say that there just is a lack of creation of certain things for certain people, or would you say, not too dissimilar from almost like employment right now, where ageism is a big thing? Would you say that some fashion designers are sizists, so to speak?
You know what? I would say this is a big trendy kind of time. It's a season for trends.
Gotcha.
And I'm not a trendy person. And I like to be able to say what I make is going to be timeless. And I think that a lot of people flock to trend because that's all they have. Right. You go in some of the stores, you're like, what is that? It's a trend. And it may not. And sometimes people just do it because they think it is the thing to do or things to wear. But it's not sometimes it's not the appropriate thing to wear, depending on where you're going. Right. And so now you spent all that money and you made that purchase, and now guess what? You're not going to be wearing it again. And all that is just sits there. Right. Whereas when you do the custom, it's like you said, it's there for the long time.
It's a long time. Absolutely. What's next for Damn Fashions?
Ooh, yeah. So I'm revving up for my grand opening in August. Because I just expanded my brand to include bridal wear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Air horns.
So those ladies out there looking for that dress, getting married, want to fit, they need to see me, Deborah Mack. And the reason I did this, it was a good opportunity to really jump on this because a young lady came to me because I didn't have bridal in my at all to do this, but she came to me and she wanted to take her, when she was young, her mom passed away. She wanted to take her mom's 1985 wedding gown and redo it, to repurpose it. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. So then, I looked at the gown, and it was very dated, of course, and I gave her some ideas of what I would do with the dress.
Right.
And so she says, okay, let's do it. And so I had so much fun doing it. I took it apart, and she had on top of it, to explain, James, on the top of the mother's wedding gown was a big piece of lace at the bottom. And I said to her, you know what? I want to take that lace. I'm going to give you a long traditional chain. I'm going to put that lace on the bottom.
Gotcha.
So when I did that, the top layer of the fabric was ruined, of course. So then I said, and I don't know why I did this. I happened to buy months ago some silk organza.
Right.
I don't know. I just saw it. And I said, oh, I'm going to buy it and get it. And I ended up buying it all. And I said, I have the silk organza. I'm going to put it on top of your mother's lining. And underneath the mother's lining, I put my, like I was telling you, my luxury lining. So that would make her cool. And then on the top of the silk organza, I hand beaded the beads to match what she had going on up top. Yeah. And the sleeves were like a 3/4 sleeve her mother had. So I took some of the lace and I extended the sleeve to give her a scallop at the bottom on top of her hand. And it really came out lovely. It really did. I did some other things too. It was beautiful.
Yeah, sounds beautiful.
And that's when I said, aha, that aha moment again.
Yeah.
I'm going to incorporate wedding gowns. So now I'm expanding the wedding gowns. And and right now, as I speak, I'm actually doing my own wedding gown. Not for me. I'm making one because I don't usually make, I don't really sew. I send everything to New York after I do all that I need to cut and sews in New York. But this particular time, I said, no, I ordered this beautiful beaded fabric from India, and I've been sitting on it for like 3 years now. And I said, I want to do something with it. So when I decided that I'm going to incorporate wedding gowns, I'm making the wedding dress.
Got it.
That will be there. So
you'll have some stock and some custom?
Everything is custom.
Everything's custom.
Everything they see is going to do. I'm only going to do like 3 for now because I'm hoping to do the grand opening in August.
Okay.
And so when people come for the grand opening, and it's open to everyone. Yeah. And they can get an idea for wedding gowns. But what I normally like to do is sit down with the bride-to-be, say, okay, what are you thinking? Right. Let me sketch it out. Show me pictures. Right. We may want this sleeve. You may want that body. You may want this. Let's put it together and make that gown for you. That's good. So that's what I do.
You'll probably get a call from one of them shows. My wife watches one of them shows. Something bless the dress.
Yes to the dress?
Yes to the dress. There you go. Yes to the dress.
Here's Deborah Mack.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's your version. Bless the dress.
Bless the dress.
That's going to be yours. Bless the dress.
I like that. Bless the dress. Yes, bless the dress. That would be nice.
That will be your show. All right. We're speaking that into existence. Bless the dress.
I'll receive. I receive it. Yes.
Speaking of speaking things in existence, how do you think about your legacy in this work?
Wow, my legacy. Wow. Honestly, I would just like people just to say, you know what? This was a woman at the age of 55, whatever, I think it was 55, I went back to school. And not what I did per se about into fashion, but the mere fact that my age did not defy what I wanted to do.
That's good.
That age should not stop us from fulfilling our dreams or our wants. Right. I think that age is a number. I know people hear that all the time, but it really is. I think what separates us from dealing with the fact in our mind about, well, I'm this age, I'm that age, is how we take care of ourselves.
That's right.
If you get in that gym, you take care of yourself, you won't think about your age. You just think about how good you feel, and you think about, if I can do this, then I know I can move on and do the next thing.
That's so good. And you know what I love about that too is, because one of the truths about ageism is, look, you are fighting aging. Yeah. You need more sleep. Yes. Your body doesn't repair as quickly.
Nope.
And so there's just some things that are happening that are just going to happen. But if you believe kind of in the 10,000 hour rule to become an expert in things, we've become either experts in things over and over to the point of having such proficiency and effectiveness, and or we've done different things like you, third career. So you got 10,000 hours in the court system, 10,000 hours in cleaning and organic, now 10,000 hours in custom.
Yeah.
Right? So you're hyper proficient in things. And so what may have used to take 60, 70 hours a week, hopefully is done in less than that.
Exactly.
Right? And so that's another thing about, I think, just thinking differently about the wisdom of where we are and ability to pivot and do things differently and be, what's the word I want to use? Fluid.
Fluid. Yeah.
Be fluid. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that when you decide to pivot and make that change, there's definitely some, what's the word I'm looking for, where you second guess yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do this? Should I do this?
Sure.
You know, but if you don't do this, how would you know?
And that's the thing I think actually is the better question to ask sometimes. If I don't do this, will I regret not doing it later?
That's right.
Right? Like, will I have that? Like we always used to say, there's not many people in their deathbed talking about, I wish I would have, done this and that. It's usually, I wish I'd have spent more time with my family.
Yeah.
I wish I would have chased this passion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not, I wish I would have amassed more money.
Yeah.
I wish.
No,
that's not what usually people are talking about. No. It's the missed opportunities.
That's right.
Right? That they didn't give it, at least take a shot.
Exactly. And, and being a Christian, like I said, my thing for me is, I don't want to be questioned about, I told you to do. Me and God got to my, Deborah, didn't I tell you?
At the gate. You stay at the gate.
Let me
in. Know me. It's Deborah Mack. Well, Deborah, we got to tell you.
Didn't I tell you?
You were disobedient.
Ooh, I didn't say how quickly. I just told you to do it.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
I joke about it. Yeah, I do, James. I joke about it. But at the same time, I'm very passionate about it. And I truly understand my calling.
Yeah, that's good.
I know my calling. I know my journey.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to be on it, because all the kinks are out when I started.
Good.
When I first decided to do it, that's when you go through the rough patches. That's when you got the dukes up and you're like fighting to get through it.
Absolutely.
And, I just say, hey, I'm a reign champion right now.
That's so good. That's so good. As we kind of wrap up, this is a powder keg question. How do you think about AI within the future of design, fashion design?
Wow. Okay. AI. Yeah. This is how I really feel about AI. I think it's a fast process, like a microwave. It's a fast trend.
In all things or in design specifically?
I'm saying specifically in design.
In design, right, okay.
And the reason I say that is because when they do the mock-up on the muse, let's just say, whatever they use, I'm like, wow, that looks beautiful. Right. Wow. But does it give you, it feeds the mind saying, yeah, I can do it, but can you really take that garment and put it on that individual? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm old school.
Yep.
I sketch.
Yeah.
I render how I want the details to be, the colors to be, this and that. Because I want to get people, I don't want to give them a false impression about, oh, yeah, because they got the most beautiful AI.
Yeah.
And I want to just give you the sketch that this is how it's going to look.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get close to it, find that fabric that's going to match what we're going to do here.
Yeah.
So honestly, for me, maybe because I don't know enough about AI, and it's just, it seems like it just stops right there. AI, they show it. It's just like for the look, just the look.
Yeah.
It doesn't cross over to how can I really wear that?
Yeah.
When you come in and see custom made, that's a totally different game.
Yeah, it's a totally different game. Yeah, yeah. What you're saying resonates because I feel similar when it comes to music creation sometimes. It is expedient, it's fast, but it also can, I'm looking for, there's a feeling sometimes missing. So for example, and this is gonna make me sound old school too, right? But like James Brown was kind of before my time, so to speak, but I was able to catch the last parts of his life and appreciate his music. So like the first time I heard like The Big Payback. Right. Or hearing the
Yeah.
And then watching videos of the recording sessions where, you know, I came up in an era where if you made a mistake, great, we go back, punch it, this, that, and that. That was a one take era. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And whatever comes out comes out.
That's right.
So the pieces where the drum is off just a little bit, if something's not perfectly quantized and whatnot, all those imperfections to me contributed to the richness of the songs. So sometimes being too perfect takes away from the feel of it.
Yes.
Right. There's something, and this is not me kicking AI. I think AI has its place. I use it for a lot of things.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I use it for a lot of things. But there's some things where I feel like some of the soul.
Yeah. I agree.
Is missing, right? When I come to the music. You know what I'm saying? And
I
can understand your point of view.
With the fashion part, because I'm looking, I'm like, wow, it's absolutely gorgeous, but is it realistic?
Yeah.
Can the woman see herself wearing it? Because, you know, you can make that dial perfect shape.
Yeah. But like be clear, I use it a lot. I use it a lot.
Maybe that's my problem. I don't use it at all.
I use it a lot, okay?
But I get it. I
use it a lot. There's certain things it could crunch and do in 3 or 4 seconds that would have taken me hours.
Yeah,
you know?
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah, so I just think it's, I guess we'll all have our preferences. We'll all have our wonders of, you know, where is humanity taken out of something that we feel robs us of something, right? And I think there's going to be a lot of us personally making those judgment calls. Of, you know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you think the next, this is an unfair question, but I'm going to ask anyway. What do you think the next potential fashion trend might be? What do you think is on the horizon?
Wow. You know what? I got to just say, I think in fashion what happens is it repeats itself a lot. You get the younger people that don't know, and they're like, oh, I like the platform shoes. Or I like look, that's what we did back in the day in the 70s, whatever. So the trend is always going to be repeating back what they did back then.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's always a repeat. It's nothing new under the sun. Because when they try to do something new under the sun, it's like, what is this?
Right.
You know, it's funny. I was just watching a Instagram TikTok video, and they were showing, it was really, really cool stuff. The men's, and they're like, okay, what's going on here? I think that was a title. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And they show the men in the dapper Dan, the beautiful coats, the beautiful wools. I mean, so sharp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they went fast forward to today. I had to hold on to my seat. Oh Lord. And it was just some stuff that was just way out there.
They'll come back though. They'll come back because you know I remember watching when I watched Malcolm X for the first time, right? And you watch Spike Lee and Malcolm in that era and the suits they were wearing.
Right.
That was 50s, 60s, right?
Yeah.
So then you fast forward to, I call it the second Steve Harvey era, right? When he started making suits and whatnot.
Right.
It was just like them. The longer coats.
Right. The bigger legs.
The bigger legs, the full matching 3-piece, the hat. Yeah. Right. And that went 4 minutes. So I feel like things, to your point,
comes back.
They come back.
They may tweak it a little bit. Maybe if everyone's not wearing hats, let's just say, whatever. They'll tweak it, but it comes back.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you really look at it, I think that
there's some things I hope don't come back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. There's some things I hope don't come back.
I understand.
I don't want to see big white tees again. I don't want white tees all summer again. I don't want that.
I get it. I get it. I agree with you 100%. Some things can stay bare.
Yeah,
really
don't bring certain things
you know,
back.
But I think that sometimes the creativity's there.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just got to dig deep to bring it out. You know, and I think that men and women, and I have done men's coats, by the way. And I did some for my family. We had to do a photo shoot, and I made bomber jackets for everybody, even my little grandson. So I don't do it a lot,
right?
But I've done it. I did it for a gentleman that came in and wanted a beautiful coat. But I think that if you can just stay with really work, what is not trendy,
right?
Which is good quality, good craftsmanship,
right?
you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because now you're not going to throw it out.
That's right. Classics too.
Classics. That's the word. Classics.
That's my wife. My wife stresses classics.
Classics.
Yeah.
She's not going to throw it out.
Yeah. She's not going to throw it out. What advice would you give to women who are later in their life who maybe want to make a career pivot, given everything you've been through in your journey? What 2 or 3 points would you encourage them with? Okay.
First, I would say pray about it.
Mm.
If it's on your heart, then you got to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to go away. I think you just got to have a good support system. And my husband is the best supporter I can name out of everybody in my life. He is number one. And I know you can't. You cannot share it with anybody. With a lot of people.
Ooh, boy,
you cannot share it with a lot of people.
That one right there.
I hate to say it, crapology.
Ooh.
Because when you start sharing your dreams, they're going to squash it.
All right. We were about to wrap up. We got to open this one up a little bit. Because you and I, we are in the same place. There are well-meaning people around us who
yeah,
I want to say naturally want the best for us.
Absolutely.
But they can't help, what's what I'm looking for, playing a sabotaging type role with words and other things relative to your dream, thinking it's too big, thinking it's too off the beaten path. Like, I've seen this time and time again. Yeah, I think this is a big one in culture, because particularly now we're in an overshare culture. We want to share everything with everybody.
That's right.
Post it. Oh my! I just got illumination. I just got to download. Let me tell you, right? And record it, and we want to post it. Right. And then the comments and such may not be helpful.
I'm going to just share this one piece with you, James. When I started my business, my entrepreneurship business, pickup and delivery, I started with that. I was so excited. I said, "Oh, I'm going to tell my friend in Connecticut what I'm doing." Talking with friends. Go back, way back. Wow, the thing that was said to me was a crusher, and I was just like, "What?" And I was, everybody knows what's pickup and delivery. You pick up, you deliver, right? And it was said to me, "Oh, you mean like picking up garbage?"
Yeah.
I was like,
"Oh wow,
ouch! Really? Is this what we're doing?"
Wow.
So, so that's when I say don't share with everybody.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to have anything good to say. Because number one, they're jealous.
Right.
Number two, they want to do it and they are afraid to do it. And number three, they're thinking, who are you that you think you can change? Who
are you that you think you can change?
Exactly. So that's when I say, don't share with anybody. Share it with someone that you know is going to support you, encourage you. When you feel down and out, it's going to be there to pick you up. It's going to believe in what you believe in.
Yeah.
But that is the person or people you only want to share it with.
That's good. And the second thing you said was, small circle. Second one was have a support system. Yeah. And I love the first one too. It's not going to go away. So pray about it.
Pray about it.
It's not going to go away. That burden the Lord put on your heart,
it's going to be right there. Because he specifically designed it for you to do.
Yeah. That's so good. All right. So we have to get ready for the relaunch with the wedding dress line. How do people follow you and catch up with your business?
Yes, people. You could do me a big favor. You can go on my Instagram, it's DAM, fashions with an S, and just start following me.
Yes.
And I promise you, I'm right here in Westchester. Again, like I said, 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia. I will mention when the grand opening is.
Nice.
And you're welcome to come.
Nice.
If you don't have Instagram, you have Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. Matter of fact, you can sign up on my website, which is DAM, D-A-M, stands for Deborah Mack, Fashions. Okay, that's all you got to put in, DAM.fashion. And you can sign up on what I call the Beehive.
Gotcha.
And just put your email in there.
DAM.fashions.
Yep, because I'm going to send out the notice when it all happens.
That's awesome. So DAM Fashions on Instagram or DAM.fashions directly. Go to the website and sign up on the list. We'll put that in the show notes too. And y'all support Deborah Mack, y'all.
Yes.
We don't have many people like Deborah Mack. All right. So hopefully you learned something from her story. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate
Thank you, James, for having me. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
I appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Until next time, be informed, be empowered, be accountable. Much love, y'all.